Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Hex Token Channel. And let us get going. We are on hex.com. Here's the daily update, and of course, hot off the press, day 777. It's a pretty good number, and of course, the 17th of January, 2022. Can you believe it? We're already up to there, and we had a timestamp price of 21 cents, down 11% there, and there's a good reason for that. So we're going to check that out soon. Hold on to the price review. And of course, return on investment multiplier from all-time low, 3,732x excluding staking. Let's have a look at the hex payout per T-share, 6.019. So this is a beautiful thing, this hex payouts. Let's go back 20 days as well. Look at that, all the way back. It's a beautiful thing to be a hex staker. Very, very cool. T-share price at 4,316, so definitely cheaper to get a T-share today, folks. And of course, the share rate, 20,483. Dot day today after yesterday's epic 236 increase. So definitely the mechanics are working. This means that people that are new get a fairer chance if you think about it over time. Nice. Okay, the average stake length 6.1 years, and of course the annual percentage yield rate, interest and early in stake penalties is a 38.58%. What a beautiful return there. Okay, liquidity pool 135 million in hex and 28.7 million in USDC pool. So just keep remember that difference there is about $2 million. Just keep that in the back of your mind when we come up to the next bit later on. The liquidity pool 1,525 ETH in there. Let us go to total value locked. Let's look at the valuations. 12.71 billion, market cap 121.69 billion, including the origin accounts. T-share market cap 45.6 billion, and the T-share numbers 10,584,950. So this is really, I mean, it's an increase of 900, but as I say, man, it used to be over 11 million. So if you've got a T-share, you are feeling pretty special. If you're relatively new to Hex, of course, you'll slowly climb the ranks as well, moving up from the smaller accounts up to the bigger accounts, just by holding on to the T-shares, and that Hex per T-share payout will just increase over time. It's going to be pretty cool. Total supply 637.9 billion, and the amount minted today rather modest compared to yesterday, 11.9 million hex. And the circulating supply 577.5 billion hex, and of course that includes the origin accounts. That's why it's such a big number. Change in circulating supply 16.8 million. Not too bad compared to yesterday, of course. Let us have a look at the stake supply, 60.3 billion, and that's down 4.8 million after yesterday's big decrease. So interesting times there. Good accounting up 3 million, and number of stake percentage of coins 9.46%, which is relatively low. So you being a staker is very, very lucky with those T-shares. Payout 63.7 million hex, and that's deferred, of course, as we always say. It only comes into the market when stakes mature. We know the average stake length is now 6.10 years, 6.1 years, sorry, 6.1 years. Penalties 406,000, and of course 50% goes to the origin accounts. Remember, 50% goes to stakers, so it's beautiful to be a staker holding accounts, and that's actually a real bonus on top of your interest payout, so it's nice. Total holders 410,893, up 408. Current stake is 75,509, up 173. So getting some good numbers again now, and these triple digits, very cool. And total stake is 95,908, up 212. Current holders 276,866, up 216. So we're going to expect to see this stuff really fly when we get to PulseChain launch, especially if it's super cheap, super fast to stake as well. It's going to be good. So those are the highlights for day 777. And let's have a look at the current market price. Market price is just under 21 cents at the moment. And of course, we had this sell-off here, and we're going to talk about that soon. And the catalyst, so just hold on to that. Very, very cool. We did actually get a bounce here. Yesterday's one down to 19.5 cents. If you're lucky to catch that little bounce, congratulations. But here we are at the moment. The lowest is 20.2 cents. We're at 21 almost. So getting a little bit of a pushback there as well. So we've got a bit of support here down at the 17 to 18 cent mark. So expect to try and hold that there as well. All right, let's go. Now this is mostly down due to a special event. We're going to talk about that as we come to it. So nice. All right, so here's a look at the liquidity in the pool. We've got 82.3% in USDC. So that's been the case for a couple of days. And the T-share rate is 4,262. Definitely cheaper to pick up T-shares at the moment. That hex price offsetting the rise in the share rate. You can see that here, the price down a bit there, and of course the T-share rate just going up to the right. Beautiful stuff here, mechanics working. So when the hex price does rally, the T-share price is going to be reach an all-time high. That's pretty much going to happen there. So it's going to be exciting to see it smash over 10,000. That's going to be cool. Adoption up and to the right start to really tick up here a little bit, and we haven't even got the PulseChain yet, so you can see that's going to go mad crazy. The payouts have been spectacular, of course, getting used to getting 6 per day. Very, very nice on that. So look at the 15-year global stakes here. Very, very cool. We always like to look at the first 6 months here, and we're going to jump over to the next chart for that. And you can see that we haven't got much coming out here. We've got one candle here. These were all short staked from the end of last year, and they've just restaked here as well. And then we have this one here, 28th of February. So coming out by the end of January, it's 145,000 T-shares versus just under 10.6 million. So it just shows you what we've got. The pink line and the purple line in the background there shows you all the cumulative T-shares, whereas the red ones show you, or the orange red shows you actual staking candles in hex. So there's a billion hex out here on 9th of May, miles away. Expecting obviously the PulseChain to launch somewhere in here, and there's not much stakes coming out there, so we might get a couple of these maybe restaking, but it's definitely breaking up, and that's what I like to see. Now let's get to the hex whale and start to see why the hex price has moved down. And so here we're going to get some of the clues. So here we are. This is 24 hours ago. We had this big hex OG come out. Now, obviously, this person had bought a lot of hex, particularly super cheap. Like we're talking 5 to 15,000 or something in that ballpark. And they had big stakes come out 730 days. So they'd been seeing the price go up in USD. They'd become multi-millionaires. And so you go from having, $10,000 to $20,000 and suddenly being worth, millions of dollars potentially. 50, $80 million, whatever it is. They've got stakes and liquid, but the liquid one was the one that came out, and they're staked quite far out into the future, 10 years and so forth, so that we don't have to worry about that much stuff coming out until later. But they've got 1.5, they sold 10 million hex 24 hours ago, and that was $2 million or so, and they sent that over to Kraken Exchange. But then 16 hours ago, they still had 63 million left, and they ended up selling more down. They ended up selling, as you can see, another 1.5, 2.2 million, and 1.7. So sold about another 10 million, and that's worth about $2 million. So that's what's been sending our price down twice now in the last 24 hours. So they did 2 big sell-offs in the last 24 hours, sending our price down. It took another $2 million out. That's pretty much what happened there. So $4 million. That's why the price has gone down. We were sitting at 25 cents and smashed us down there. But they did end up doing a 10 million sacrifice to hex. So in addition to the 20 million or so that they sold on the market, they also did 10 million sacrifice to hex. So that's a good thing. That will be held by the sacrifice account. We won't see that hit the market. So that's another $2 million. And they'll get PulseX instead. So that's what they'll go. They put them at number 42 as well. So they're ranked number 42 on PulseX sacrifice. We just had another end stake here, 26 million up to 62, and that's another hex OG. So that's excuse me, that's the key results there. You can actually see on the chain. That's the first lot there sold. And then the second lot 16 hours ago sold 10 million or so, and then of course they sacrificed 10 million to the sacrifice addresses as well, giving them rank number 42. They still have 42 million hex left though, and that's worth $8.9 million at the current price. So we've got to watch out for this one. But once again, this hex OG, once they're sold out of their liquid, they're largely staked quite far out. They've got lots of little staking ladders, but their big ones is 10 years away. In 2030, I should say. So this is really their big play here. So that stuff that they've sold already, to 20 million hex, is off the market, sold. They've sent their US dollars to Kraken. So we'll see what they do with this. They've still got a lot of selling power in there, so we'll definitely see. We have seen this before. Hex OGs sell down, so we'll watch to see how far this particular one goes as well. They're obviously shown that they're happy to sell down, and yeah, 2 lots was interesting. 1 lot might have meant, hey, maybe they were buying a house. 2 lots means, maybe they're just selling down, because obviously going from having tens of thousands of dollars to millions and millions is a big deal. So we'll watch this one very closely. All right, let's jump over to PulseChain, and of course we're waiting for PulseChain, super fast, super cheap, and of course mass adoption in the millions potentially, as well as the biggest yield farming in history, biggest airdrop in history, and looking exciting. AMM bot run, money's going to be printed out of thin air. It's going to be super duper good. The bridge can open. It's going to be party time. Let's jump over to the GitLab, and we can see we had a little bit of update on the PulseChain testnet 3 hours ago. So nice to see a little updates happening most days. Nice. And let's have a look at 3-second blocks. 421,000 transactions, really ramping up. Obviously, with a lot more stuff opened up to public access, we're getting transactions in so many blocks now. Before we're getting, still had quite a few zero blocks, but now we're getting transactions all over the place. There will be third-party dApps testing on here. There will be, the bridges, Uniswap, and all the people access to that on here. So we're getting a lot more transactions. Nice to see. All right, it's cool. Let's jump over to PulseX and let's give it a little refresh. On here, we are really climbing, folks, and of course that big sacrifice from the seller, OG seller, certainly helps. So we're up to, let's say we're 929,500,000. So that's pretty cool. We've got over 64 million that we know of in the other wallets, which is probably higher now. So 30, that's 95. I would say that we're pretty close to $1 billion. We must be very much in that vicinity. So pretty neat on that. The sacrifice rate will increase by 5% in 23.5 hours. Currently, 10,000 base points will cost you $1.55. So that's how much that is. And of course, we're slowly moving up this sacrifice curve here. You can see this is the time here, day 21. And of course, the price, we're day 21 now. And of course, the price here is $1.55 as we move up. Very cool. All right, let's jump over to PulseX.info. This is where you want to sacrifice. Just follow the instructions very carefully. You'll be perfectly fine. All right, so let's jump over to PulseX leads. Let's refresh this as well. We had a pretty good day in the last 24 hours. Obviously helped along by the HexOG sacrificing 10 million as well. Certainly helps. So let us get here. And we'll just update this. Yeah, so 929,500,000, pretty nice. We've got still top 7 in there. We can see that OG is down at number 42. So this one here. So there we are. That's that one. And of course, let's have a look at the hex sacrifice. Almost 550 million. 2,138,000,000 sacrificed so far. Nice. Obviously boosted by that 10 million sacrificed. Very cool. Getting close to USDC 100 million. Very nice as well. So cool. There's some highlights there. All right, let us get in. Don't forget to join me for PulseX later in the day. It's going to be pretty cool. We're going to skip the PulseChain timeline. We're going to jump over to Richard Hart. Made a little comment there. There's $600 million in stablecoins just in Ethereum sacrifice addresses, 40 million in BNB and BSC, 2.5 million on AVAX, 3 million on Polygon Matic, 30 million on Bitcoin, 15 million on Bitcoin, 3 million on XRP, etc. So looking pretty good there. And man, he's already hinted on a previous live stream that could be used for something. So obviously no expectations of working others, but that looks pretty exciting. Nice. So he's made a lot of comments lately. That's very cool. And what else we go? So we're going to move forward here. Back down to Bitcoin. So a few other comments here from Richard. That's it. So that was the main one there. Hope you enjoyed that one. Feel free to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, of course, and any comments I will respond to after as well. And of course, catch me for the PulseX live update later on today. It looks like we've pretty much at $1 billion right now. It really is pretty cool. All right. Hope you enjoyed that one. Feel free, and I will catch you later. Bye.